Hey there, nerds! I am the author of the Descendant Saga, some cheesy sci-fi novels, and I'm going to put a bunch of links down in the description, so I beg you, please check them out. I've spent a lot of time on them. I've also spent a lot of time in this game. This is War Thunder. It's not new. It's not even mine, but I do give it a lot of my time. As you can see here, this is the good old P40 Warhawk. In this case, this is the F-10 submodel, which gives us a battle ranking of 2.7. I made some other nerd a little upset because I admitted that I skipped the P40 Warhawks in the tech tree. I researched them, but I was chasing the P47s, which I now have, and I've played, because I'm a P47 fanboy. I mean, look, I didn't even buy the P51s because it's not a P47. So, I got a little booster on here, 15%. We're going to fly some Air RB with the Warhawk. Now, knowing we're rated at 2.7, that means we're going to face everything from 1.7 up to 3.7. So, that means, hypothetically, let's look at the other nations. BF-109s. Early model 190s. BF-110s. What do the Soviets have? MiG-3s. Cannon-armed Ishak. Yak-7s, Yak-9s, the I-185, those are kind of rough. LA-5s, those are rough, like 3s. I'm not even going to look at the Japanese, because we know just, don't. The Italian 3-ish range. Now, those guys all have a couple of machine guns, a couple of rifleable caliber guns. I think we'll be alright. We just definitely have to stick with the actual boom and zoom tactics that they used in this plane to win the war. I think the P40 deserves a little more credit than it gets, because it won the war. I know, the P-51, the P-47, the Spitfire, which is just a leaf with a propeller on it, those were the Allied planes that, quote-unquote, won the war. As you can see, I don't have anything unlocked. This is my first flight in the plane. I've still got all 10 free repairs. Let's see what happens. Flaps down. Oh, everybody's already taken off. It's put me into an existing game. Let's max the throttle. Anyway, as I was saying, P40 is not the P51. It's not the P47. It's not the Spitfire or the Hurricane or the BF-109 or the FW-190 with a 0. It doesn't get enough glory. It's not a Corsair. It's not a Wildcat. It's not a Hellcat. It's got 650s, and those save the world half an inch at a time. I'm going to make the argument the P-40 is the best fighter plane the United States ever had. Because, sure, it wasn't as fast and long-ranged as the P-51. It didn't carry as many guns or as many bombs as the P-47. It didn't fly as high as the P-38. But it's what we had. It was there when we needed it. It was good enough to do what we needed it to do. It was strong enough to survive doing it. P-40 was the greatest fighter plane the United States had in World War II. Because it held the line, it carried the weight, it did the work, while the other planes, like the P-51, that got all the glory, were in development, getting iterated on, improved, upgraded, and shipped out to the front lines. By the time the P-51, now, don't get me wrong, P-51 is a fantastic plane that was flown by fantastic men who did amazing things in that airframe. But the P-40 Warhawk held the line. It took not one step back until the P-51 got there. If it wasn't for the P-40 doing the work, P-51 wouldn't have gotten the glory. Think of it as a group project. Everybody knows, you know, when you're doing a group project in school, there's one kid that does all the work. That's the P-40. But then there's the other kid that's just enough of an extrovert, he can give the presentation. That's the P-51. Okay, I'm still climbing. The enemy's already over us. These bombers spawn in the air. Let's see what's out there. We have an I-185, captured P-47, P-43, P-39N. There's a Corsair. Two somethings over there. Gonna be rough. Let's go dive on this K-43. P-43. KI-43. Whatever we're gonna call it. Real matchup here. Give him the real McCoy. I'm gonna pull throttle back. I'm down to 3/4. The X7 has flamed out the KI-43, so we're going to go back up to the WEP and climb. I'm going to give up my altitude if I don't have to. P-39's down on the flight deck where they're supposed to be. Let's go help out our teammate. Roll over. I said roll. Thank you. Check 6. Nothing. Alright, our guy is down. If I can get the lead on him. And the X7 took him out again. I hear engines and gunfire. Spitfire. Oh, there's a P-51. What is that thing? B-239 shooting at me. It has guns. Why was my plane not rolling? I was pressing D. It's full aileron deflection. It should have kept rolling clockwise. And once I got to about 90 degrees, it just stopped rolling. Alright. That's why we have free repairs. Let's try another one. Somebody that knows more than me, tell me what paint scheme this is, if this is a specific unit or theater or era that this plane is painted with. I mean, I love a good shark mouth. All P-40s should have shark mouths. But we've got these white stripes. I don't know what color pattern that is. If you do, please leave me a comment. Tell me what it is. Make all of us nerds a little bit smarter. so we can all nerd a little bit harder. Also, while we're waiting, my drink is empty. I have emptied my beverage. So I'm going to take this moment to remind you, while I'm going to go get a new drink for me, while we're waiting for matchmaking, I'm going to remind you that you should drink something. Stay hydrated. Alright, I'm back. I have another beverage. And while we're waiting on matchmaking, I'm going to do a little bit of what we call real-time history. Since I've got another monitor open here, I'm going to tell you what the P40 F10 is. So, the F generation of P40 Warhawks is when they went from the Allison 1710 engine that was used in Warhawks and Mustangs to the Rolls-Royce Merlin, or in this case, license built by Packard, the Packard 1650 Merlin. It's a British engine that had better high-altitude performance without sacrificing low-altitude horsepower or increasing weight, etc. So, the F model Warhawk is going to have a better high-altitude performance compared to earlier B, C, D, E, etc. model Warhawks. The Dash 10 version that they specify this is has manually operated cowl flaps, cooling flaps, for around the radiators. And there was a total of 177 of them built. The P40F is also when they finally started calling the Warhawk the Warhawk. Before that, it was known as the Hawk or the Kitty Hawk or something to that effect, depending on who you were asking. But this plane, this airframe, held the front line in North Africa, in the Pacific Theater. And we gave a bunch of them to the Soviets on the Eastern Front. This is the workhorse that, was so ubiquitous that everyone forgets. It's like that 92 Honda Civic that you've never changed the oil on, and it still runs, and everyone forgets that you have that car because it's a great car. It always works. It does what you tell it to do. It's not flashy. It's not a Supra. But it's there when you need it. Now, I almost never have this much matchmaking delay. And this isn't even like a crazy tier or anything. What's going on? Put me in, coach. They're afraid. They're afraid of the Warhawk. That's what it is. Alright, I cleared it out. We're going to try again. Starting over. See what happens. I guess while we're waiting, I can look at our modifications list here, see what we've got going on. You have the standard, upgrades for the other types of ammunition belts, cleaning the radiator, rebuilding your engine, all of the normal stuff. This is what I'm interested in for our secondary armament. 100-pound bombs? Really? Alright, 500 we can use. Hey, we're finally getting into the game. Now, I know they probably hung all kinds of things under Warhawks because, they were at the front lines. They didn't have a standard loadout. They loaded them out with whatever they could get because they were at the front lines. They were in the Cactus Air Force, the Flying Tigers, and those desperate months in 42 and 41. All right, flaps down, throttle up, B-47, B-39, Mark II Spitfire, another B-239, which looks like an export version of the Buffalo or something to that effect. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'll have to look it up when we're done. Gear up. He's got rockets. Flaps up. Let's look at the map. Yeah, we're fairly even head on. I'm going to bank right. Do a little side climbing. And through the magic of video editing, I will see you again when something exciting happens. A random thought here. Because there's so many planes in this game, you never really learn to fly one very well. Because there's literally thousands of options. So, when you get one all upgraded, maxed out, researched, crew ranked up, and then by that point, you've already unlocked another plane or two. So then you move on to something else. So now I can ask questions like, what is the optimum climb angle, airspeed for this airplane? I don't know. I don't know for any of these planes because I'm never in one airframe long enough. So tell me, of all the airplanes in War Thunder, which one? Give me one airplane to be the one plane that I learned, so that I know off the top of my head all of those kinds of stats. Your never exceed speed, your maximum speed you can drop landing gear, maximum speed you can drop flaps, your best angle and airspeed for climb performance, etc., etc. That way, we can get really good with one plane and, for lack of a better phrase, lock in and actually do some work. Alright, seeing as we have a Spitfire and I believe 239 is in the Swedish tech tree, and there's a P47, I'm in a Warhawk. We're probably going to be facing Soviets, right? Let's go shoot at some commies. Because commies aren't people, they're government property. Therefore, we're not committing war crimes. Because war crimes are only committed against people. We're just destroying government property. Since I'm still climbing here, let's take a look at the cockpit model. I know we've got an armored plate in front of our feet, right behind the engine. And this nice big thick, see how thick that front windscreen is? That's the armor protection our pilots got. Got self-sealing fuel tanks. Those are nice. Let's see. Airspeed, altitude, manifold pressure, RPM, coolant temp, fuel, oil. Alright, compass. I'll tell you what. The nicest thing about flying American aircraft, since I've spent most of my time in Italian planes, the thing I like most about flying American planes is I can actually read the instruments. I know what's what. It's not an Italian, and they're in gallons, miles per hour, feet per minute, etc. Not freaking metric. The hell is a kilometer? Right. Let's see, I'm still climbing, but we're getting over to where the furball is now. Let's see what's going on down there. KI-43 is already burning and going down. Thank goodness. The Yak-7. DB-3's a bomber. The B-25 is already engaged by our Spitfire. I'm not going to go in there and steal his kill. Maybe. He was shooting at him earlier. Alright. Uh-oh, the Yak got our 239. P-47 down there. EE-2 is another strike fighter bomber thing. Because the Spitfire has decided he does not need to finish off the P-25. I don't blame them. Those have a lot of 50 cals on them. And I don't care what you're flying. 50 cal is scary. It is the perfect medium. You know, 30 caliber, rifle caliber machine guns, they just don't do enough damage. And while 20 and 30 millimeter cannons are great, you usually can't carry enough ammo. Or maybe that's just because my aim is bad. But there's never enough bullets either. And then you've got the 50 cal middle ground, which is got longer range, more damage than the 30 caliber or other rifle caliber guns, and you carry more ammo per unit of weight and or volume compared to 20 and 30 millimeters. And even some of the other, like the MK103, there's the MK108. Those are the two 30 millimeter cannons the Nazis put in their fighter planes. I forget which is the long barrel one, which is the low barrel, low velocity one, but it is not impractical with a 50 caliber armament, because your range is so much greater than the bat slow heavy projectiles from those 30 millimeters. That Spitfire is still chasing the B-25, and I don't see anything else. I think we wasted all that time climbing. I'm going to chop the throttle, and we're going to go ground pound. What's down there? Some armored cars. I've got AP in this belt somewhere. We'll just shoot him until we find it. Woo! Flak doesn't like us.
Attention to the map.
There's an AI plane. We'll shoot at that. I think it's worth more points. Oh, look, here's another one. And another one. I'll shoot at these things instead of guys on the ground. Alright. These Stromoviks are slow and tough. Their fuselage is made out of one piece of metal, like a dugout canoe. And they've got big, thick bulletproof glass. They're heavily armored canopies. The Stromovik, I mean, the name Stromovik in Russian means flying tank. Like, it does what it says on the box. So, you got to place your shots carefully. If you can get a lead angle, there we go. Not mean to roll all the way over. I think I gotta play with my control settings, because it's trying to hold your hands too much, so it does things. I think that's why in the previous game come on, there he goes, fold it up. I think that's why in the previous game it didn't roll over all the way when I told it to. Alright. That Stromovik took all my ammo, so I'm gonna shoot at this gun crew. And run back to my base for ammo. Because no more bullets. That's it. No more bullets. So the engine and the crew in the Stromoviks are very well protected because they've got that big metal canoe of a fuselage. And the outer portions, the wings outside of the landing gear, so they have similar landing gear to the Warhawk that retract backwards into the wings instead of moving laterally. But the outer parts of the wings and the tail surfaces, those are all made out of wood. So It takes a lot of bullets to poke enough holes to break up the wood. Oh. I'm the only guy left on the team. And as you can see, they both have drop weight. So both of the enemies are bombers. Includes that B-25 we were just looking at. Alright. I'm on approach here, so flaps and landing gear down. Let's see if I can shoot down 2 bombers with 1 load of ammo. Wonder what happened to that Spitfire we saw earlier. He was chasing that B-25. I wonder if the guy was dumb enough that he got inside their main base envelope of AAA. Got himself shot down by the AI. You know, as you can see when I was shooting at those AI Stromovics, the AI is doing its thing, and it just kind of ignores you. So, you can do your thing and destroy the AI. How did everyone else die? Why is it just me? Like, as I've said before, I am decidedly mid. I am too high. I am above the glide slope. I'm gonna cut the throttle. Why am I the only guy that's still alive? Alright, 190. There we go. Bump. A little bit of a bounce. Full elevators to plant the tail, and now I can feather the brakes. Because, I don't want to nose over and break my propeller. Yes, it would repair me, and I'd still be in the fight. It's minor enough damage. But it's also going to cost more time. See, counters down there. I'll be rearmed a couple of seconds faster than repaired. And I don't think I'm damaged. So, I don't know why it's even counting down the repair. I'm going to take the time to drink a drink. Stay hydrated, nerds. Alright, we are repaired and rearmed. Flaps are down. Throttle up. Let's go find some bombers. This guy with the Chinese name, that's the B-25. I don't know. Scharnhorst is a ship, not a bomber. But Scharnhorst is flying a bomber. Alright, gear up. Flaps up. And get off the emergency power. Now, there's going to be one of two things. Either those bombers are going to be way up in orbit, and I'm going to have to spend 20 minutes climbing to find them. Or they're going to be down here shooting at things on the ground like I was doing. I'm going to gamble for that, because it's more exciting to stay low and fast. I don't want to have to climb. Climbing is boring. I don't see anybody, though. Check 6. My Red Baron is kicking in and telling me to maneuver. I've been flying straight and level for too long. Alright, I have 1,686 rounds. That seems kind of odd. Not 1,600, 1,700, but 1,686. 6 machine guns. I would love to just go straight to ground targets again. Do things the P40s did. But it's a 2v1, and they're bombers, so I might actually have a chance, provided they're not in formation together. So keep an eye out. Okay, let me know if you see an enemy plane. There's friendly AI planes. That's what all those contrails are over there. There's a lot of struts in this canopy. Oh. There's somebody. I saw the gunfire. Tracers. There's a plane right there. Now, the question is that one of the Stromovics? Or is that a player? That's a Stromovic. There's another one. Since I have to face actual players now, I'm not going to waste ammo on them. Where's the enemy base? This one. Yep. There it is. Over there on the other side of the frozen lake. I think there's somebody on that runway down there. That looks like a black dot. Climbing towards me. I think he just took off. Alright. Found one. Check myself before somebody comes to wreck me. Oh, there he is. Low and slow. Bomber that just took off down there by the tree. 2 engines. Normal tail. That is not the B-25. So that's got to be the player named Scharnhorst. There's the B-25, 5 miles behind us. But we've got the altitude. Let's give them what for, boys. And there's the plane rolling in weird ways I didn't tell it to. I'm gonna yank the throttle back. DB-3. I think that's one of the Soviet bombers. Please. They have bad gunners. Hope your aim's worse than mine. Enemy gunner is unconscious, it says. I actually did something useful with that pass. Keep an eye out for the B-25. Okay, he's 6 miles that way.
The enemy is winning. We've got to counterattack.
I don't know which gunner we took out. Based on where my shots hit midship, it's either a waist or a dorsal gunner. And if he's low like this, well, it's not like I'm going to be beneath him. For his belly gunner. There we go. Scharnhorst is down. I still have more than half my ammo. go back up to full throttle. Give it the beans. Get up to altitude. Find this B-25. It was over here near these clouds. What are these guys just flying circles? Like the Stromovics that are actually doing something. You know, I bet that B-25 dropped a payload and is now returning towards the base. Probably taking a circuitous route this way. No, he's behind me. And there's the plane rolling again. It's this stupid instructor. I turn off the instructor, making me do things. Pretty sure the B-25s have fixed nose guns. I do not want to head on with this guy. Yeah, he's definitely trying to get the nose on. And he just dove down from orbit, so he's probably going to be going faster than me, too. He's got a tail gun and waist guns. He's definitely cooking. He's got a tail turret and waist gunners, dorsal turret, and fixed nose guns. He doesn't have a belly gun. He's still pulling away. 260, 270 miles an hour. How fast is this B-25? I'm 280 and catching him finally. But by the time I do, he's going to be back over his defended airspace. Yep, mission clock ran out. I should not have been still alive or the highest ranked player on the team. We'll see if I can do one more mission. We'll make it something more exciting. Alright, we got one more game. Third time's the charm, right? It's another small matchup. Because they're normally like 12 on 12 or 12 on 16 matches, and we have 6 on 5, because that guy dipped out or something, I guess. We've got 2 P40s, a P51, an early P51, Mark V, Spitfire, MiG-3. Our bomber's down. AI-44 shot down the bomber. And he's got points, so we know this guy is flying a KI-44. And there's another Spitfire. Corsair, Yak-1. The Yak we can probably handle. Got 2 guns, or a gun and a cannon. It's smaller, probably a little less durable. Speed is going to be about the same. Maneuverability might be a little bit greater. It looks like our E-51's running. We'll help out our buddy. Alright, maybe we're not going to help him out, because he found the whole enemy team. There's a Spitfire. That Yak is turned around. He's probably out of ammo. I know they don't carry a whole lot. Our Spitfire is going down there to help him. There's a hit, what it's worth. Got the rolling scissors. Why? It's gonna get me killed again. I'm full pressing button A on my keyboard. Should have been barrel rolling the whole time. Still am. Still not doing what I'm telling it to do. There goes my rudder. Alright. He's not out of ammo. Fortunately, I'm not out of altitude. Comes again. MiG-3, help me out. On the HBO program, help a brother out. I think we're going to ignore the AI plane. That's a stupid easy target. Even if it has a functional gunner. Why did he break off and go for the MiG? I don't know. I ain't complaining. I don't know what piece I saw fall off of him, but it must not have been an important one when I hit him. Oh, I don't have a rudder. And we're dead, because I didn't have the rudder to be able to adjust my aim. Alright. Let's get out of this burning wreck.